everybody. Welcome to the podcast pre-show. We are excited to be here live covering Bridgerton Season 3, Episode 2. Do us a favor and hit that share button below. Share it to your stories, your wall, and messenger with a friend over text message. This way, some of your friends can join us here live. This podcast episode will be up for our friends at jointhenerdclan.com. pretty soon after we are finished recording it. And then, of course, it will eventually go to your regular podcatchers, your Apple Podcasts, all of those Stitcher, right? Spotify, yes.
Yeah, Stitcher's out now.
Yeah, but it'll be going there probably tomorrow. We always like to have an early release to our friends at jointhenerdclan.com, just as a thank you for your patronage, for making this show and all of the shows possible. Blake, is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, this is just the podcast pre-show where we're talking about
sneaking in a snack.
Yeah, getting all the chippies ready to go, and some polar seltzer aid, strawberry polar seltzer lemonade. Actually sounds delightful.
I know.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing, and we're here. We're just ready to go. And yeah, you got anything else, Mary, that you'd like to chat about with everybody? By the way, I know that we're a little late with this episode. Thank you for your patience. We've had just a lot of things going on over the past couple of weeks,
including our little lass's birthday.
Yeah, it was birthday week, and then my car got messed up. Mary's car then got messed up.
My brakes went out.
Yeah, so
that was scary.
It was very Diana, keep calm and crown on of you. So yeah, there's just been a lot of things going on. So and then Mary went to New York for a little bit, so our schedule was thrown off. It's just been banana land at House Larson. So anyway, we're here. We're ready to go. We're ready to talk about.
Yeah.
We're ready to talk about. Caitlin says, Mary, I love your shirt. Very Bridgerton. And Blake,
Thank
Phantom of the
you.
Opera. Yes, always represent Phantom. Best show ever. Love me some Phantom. All right, here we go. You ready to make a podcast?
That I am.
All right, let's do it. Hold on. Sorry. For some reason.
Deep inside, I know I can be clever and amusing, but somehow my character gets lost between my heart and my mouth, and I find myself saying the wrong thing, or more likely, nothing at all.
Forget what is wrong or right. Imagine what you would want to say to me if I were a suitor, without concerning yourself with how I might receive it.
Your eyes, a most remarkable shade of blue. And yet somehow they shine even brighter when you are kind. I might say something like that if you were a suitor.
Well, that was rather direct.
Eloise is here.
You can hide.
All the way from Providence, Rhode Island, welcome to Bridgerton with Mary and Blake. It's a podcast dedicated to Bridgerton on Netflix. So sit back and relax, and let's get ready to spill the tea. Dear gentle listeners, welcome back. So happy to have you here. My name is Mary Larson.
My name is Blake, and again, if that is not proof that we record this intro live every single time, then I don't know what else we can show and do to prove to you that we record that intro
it makes it
live
fun.
every single time.
A lot of shows do have pre-recorded intros, and that just doesn't keep you on your toes.
Nah.
Doesn't allow for me to mess up every once in a while.
The mess ups give it character. The mess ups give it life and flavor.
That's right.
So that's how that works. Well, Marvin, what do you think? We're here. We're talking 302, and your immediate thoughts on the episode before we get into the whole rating thing. Before we do all of that. Just your immediate thoughts.
Everyone got spray tans. Everyone is embracing the dewy, glowy makeup look of the season.
Especially Francesca.
Seriously,
Holy smokes.
She couldn't sparkle more if she tried.
Looks like she's made out of porcelain.
I want to be a member of this family so badly, in the Bridgerton family. I just love them all. I love them all so very much. Yeah, those are my initial thoughts, but I know we're going to get into it more.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Marvin, are you ready to get into this episode? I suppose
I sure am.
Let's do the whole thing. Although, wait, are we supposed to do? Oh no, I don't have it written in our notes. I apologize. I still have not written it in the notes that we're supposed to do a mini plot recap.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to do one off the cuff right now?
Sure.
Okay.
This is the episode where Penelope starts her lessons with Colin, as you had to hear in the very beginning. They have a few little touchy moments, including his hand getting hurt, and he gets a little jealous. Still get jealous.
Oh my goodness.
Francesca becomes the sparkling. I don't know, something
the
sparkling.
diamond.
The diamond.
No, the diamond has to sparkle.
No, but
yeah,
but
the queen says sparkling.
but it's by a different name. It's but still
Sparkling, even.
still diamond-esque.
Yes.
And the kiss. The please, I might die before I'm kissed.
Yes, yes.
Because everyone finds out about Penelope and her mishap with Colin.
Right.
And, oh, so awkward.
Okay, now we
And
can
the
get into
kiss.
the rest of the show. Let's do it. All right, Marvin, here we go. This is episode 302, entitled How Bright the Moon, directed by Trisha Brock. If you've listened to that podcast, if you've listened to this podcast, you should know that name by now, as she has directed episodes 201, 202, and the premiere of this season, Out of the Shadows. The writer was Sarah L. Thompson. You may remember her. She actually wrote episode 203 last year, A Bee in Your Bonnet. She is a producer for this season and was a producer for the last season as well. 203 and this episode are her only writing credits for Bridgerton as of yet. All right, Marvin, what do you got for your cups of tea rating? How many cups of tea are you giving this episode?
4.8.
Oh, okay. Not bad. Not bad. What'd
Yeah.
you give last episode?
I don't know.
I don't remember. We can look it up.
Out of sight, out of mind, but
Sure.
4.8, potentially 4.9. If last episode was a 4.8, then I'll bump it up to a 4.9.
So you like
I'll
this
just do it.
episode better?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
I
fair
did.
enough. Okay.
I did. I enjoyed this episode
Oh, so
more.
it's official now. It's in the document.
Yes, I changed it in the document.
It's been noted.
How about you, Blake?
It might as well be a notary aspect right here. It's been notarized, if you will. I'm giving this one a 4.4. I enjoyed this one a lot more than the first episode.
Okay.
Just
I
primarily.
forget what your previous rating was.
It was like a 3.9.
So both of us moved up.
Yeah, we moved up.
Even
we
though I
both
don't
bumped
know what my previous score was.
up. You just know that it moved up. So yeah, I'm giving this one a 4.4. I enjoyed it more, and we'll get into why. But I think just to give you a professional tease, some of it has to do with the fact that we're actually just really at least in this episode, we're in full pollen mode. We're not stuck, but we're sticking to one group or one
romance.
One plot line, if you will. And I think that does this episode well. All right, you're GBG, you're good, you're bad, and you're great.
My good for this episode were the Featheringtons. I need to shout them out. I've decided I need to shout out Portia and Philippa and Prudence.
Yes.
As much as I can, because of course this being season 3, Penelope herself being a Featherington, I don't know if we will be spending as much time with Portia and her girls in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to shout them out. I know that they're not everybody's favorite characters, but these ladies, first off,
They're great.
They hit the spray tan booth hard, okay? They're glow up.
Especially Prudence.
Yes.
Prudence looks like
She's ready for Miss USA tryouts.
Holy smokes. She might as well be
Yes.
painting abs on.
Seriously. They have had their glow up. They are enjoying their riches from the fake rubies that the former Lord Featherington sold to everybody and have spent it on some bronzer and self-tanner. But the conversations that they have about how babies are made and the fact that Portia has to describe things in such detail to only find out that her daughter Philippa, who's been married for a year, only kisses Mr. Finch.
And he makes a funny noise.
And then changes his britches. For a year. Because remember the cheese and all that stuff
Oh,
last
yeah. Oh, yeah.
We all know. Yeah. That just I love Portia, how she just always touches her brow.
Oh my God, I know.
Oh, okay.
Why must I be punished? The touching of the brow is a signature move.
Oh, it
when
really
the brow
is.
gets touched, that's it.
I may have to do that for our kids. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So my bad. Okay. So for this episode, it's difficult. A lot of times, Blake will often do bads where maybe it feels off or whatever. I just feel
Wait
bad.
till you hear my bad.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so my bad in general for how I feel for the characters is I feel bad for Francesca because even though Violet isn't really pushing Eloise right now, you can tell that Violet is on a mission. And there's this person. Let's do this. Let's do that. And even Lady Danbury's like, I'm going to hook your girl up because now we're family. Okay?
Right.
We're going to make this happen. And I feel bad for Eloise in the sense that I feel bad about her. She's in an awkward friend situation. When you go through friend breakups and you're still in the same circle, you're still in the same classes, it is really hard and really awkward. And we know that Penelope, she got a kiss that she's been waiting for in her entire life. I just feel bad for Eloise. Because
Meaning you just feel bad for the character.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what I mean.
You don't feel bad about the character.
No, I'm not saying that anything in that way was wrong. And that's why I'm saying I feel bad watching it for these characters.
Okay.
But in regards to what I found bad in the episode was the Dynamite music edit.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was weird.
Why? How was it weird? What do you mean?
Because so Eloise is like, ho, 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 let me tell jokes. And they're like, oh, we found your talent, your great conversation. It's dynamite, burner now. Done.
Oh, yes. Okay. When they left the scene,
They transitioned to like people dancing and then jump, and it was like
it was a very hard cut.
it was yes, and I
Okay.
did not enjoy that.
I gotcha.
Okay,
I see
let
what
me
you're saying.
roll with it. Have some more fun. Play it out a little bit more. Let's watch some more Lemonade. What kind of food do they eat? We know they're into lemonade this season. We get it.
They were in the lemonade
They
too
love
last
lemonade.
season.
Yeah, they love lemonade. We should be drinking our lemonade. Who needs tea?
Oh, maybe we should be doing lemonade ratings like we did for This Is Us.
Yes.
By the way, go to MarionBlake.com and listen to This Is Us 2, especially now that it's on Netflix.
That kiss. Because that was more than just a kiss. That was a kiss, and then let's do a little more, and let's do a little more, and then let's let our foreheads just touch each other a little bit. And for those of you who don't know, I love preparing for podcast episodes so much that I watch episodes as many times as possible, including one time with the English audio descriptions, which drives me crazy. So for fun.
Every time I go on Netflix, there it is. Every time.
So for fun, is this on Netflix?
Yes, it is.
Okay. You may need to do it at the end.
Well,
For
we
fun,
can't
friends.
because we can't show Netflix
Oh, okay, yeah.
related content.
So at the end, when they're kissing, the audio description is like, and then they start kissing more with their mouths open more. And they slowly open their eyes, their foreheads touch. And then Penelope says goodbye, thank you. And she runs away. And then it's like Colin's jaw twitches. His mouth clasps. He looks off. It's just so funny because I'm like, did it twitch? Is that how
Did
it's
it
supposed
really?
to? Okay. I love it. No, but
Was that written into the script?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Like,
wondering.
saying,
And then
how do you know?
How do you act a twitch? Like that's hard. So yeah, the audio commentary.
Wait, how do you act it?
I won't do it here because you can't hear it on the podcast. But the audio commentary for the kiss scene is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Okay. What's your great?
The kiss.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where you been, man?
I was on the bed.
I loved it. I'm here for it. How about you?
All right. My good is finally, we have some dynamic look to the ball. Maybe because it's the Queen's ball or whatever, but like there was finally some like color, especially when they pulled up to the ball and they have that big opening and scene setting shot of the building with the fires and everything.
The fire.
Like, okay, yes, great. We actually get some visual dynamics that are representative, I think, of Bridgerton and the magic of it, right? Because this universe that we're watching, it's based in reality, yes, but there's also a heightened reality to it, right? Because the history of what we're watching isn't real, and that's okay. As such, the visual language of the show should be at least somewhat representative of that. And the first season, I felt like, did a dynamite job of establishing that kind of visual language. The second season, maybe because it was kind of like this enemies to lovers thing, it didn't do that as much. But and maybe that was just part of the rubric, I guess, or part of the established feel of what they were trying to go for. But this season's much lighter. It is much funnier than last season. It is, at least in the writing, more reminiscent of the first season. So let's play into that more, and let's establish this heightened reality, this heightened sense of color, and this heightened even contrast. Right? We finally got that in this setting. Not only was it outside, but it was inside in the ball too. If you look at the ball itself, it was very dark, very, very. It was wicked dark down there, wicked dark. And hold on.
Your cousin from Boston.
But the great thing about it, though, that even though it was dark, all of the colors, even the moon, that faux moon blue look was coming in. They had more fires.
Harbinger of fertility.
Had more fires in the ball itself, and there was even some, because of how the light was being distributed, there was even some really cool lighting effects from all the different dresses that was shining up onto the wall. Like, it was just a visually dynamic thing, and I liked that. I also just want to say too that I really like what they're doing with the Mondriches in this season so far. That is my sub good.
I'm so glad, because I'm bored with the Mondriches.
Yeah, I get it. I get why.
But I also think it's because they're the most relatable.
Yes.
That I'm like, give me something.
Give me something else.
Give me some drama. And they're not dramatic.
Yeah,
they're like a normal, loving couple.
Give me the heightened reality. And I get it. And I think I understand that a point, actually. And like, I actually appreciate it, because they are kind of the way in for us poors.
But also to know that this was how things were done. Like, you could go from being a nobody.
Yeah.
And then bada bing, bada boom, your son's an heir.
Yep.
That's pretty remarkable.
So I kind of like what they're doing with them. So that's my sub good. We'll get into that more later. All right, my bad. And this is why, because you said, oh, when Blake has a bad, it's usually how he feels about something, and like how the show is feeling or whatever. So my literal note says, bad. Does anyone else feel like they're trying to shove it down our throats with Colin and Ben? That is my bad.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean, it's like this episode, until we get to the kiss portion, and even in the first episode, they are really trying to get us to like, oh, like they're feeling things about each other, and like they are, especially with the glass moment in the hand and everything.
Yes.
It's like they are shoving it down our throat.
No, but let's be real. When you think back, okay, because remember, Penelope's never been kissed. Colin hasn't really had feelings for other people. He's enjoyed gallivanting. But when you finally have to touch, remember being in the movie theater and like thinking, do I touch their hand? When do we do it? Do I put my hand in the armrest and see if they go for it? And the tension that you feel.
That's true.
And then you put your hand next to theirs, and then you see like, okay, are we gonna like
finger
rub?
The finger thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you see, the funny thing is that we actually got that with Daphne and Simon, and we even kind of got that
when they were looking at the pictures. Yes.
Yes, we even kind of got that with Brimsley and what's his name, Reynolds in Queen Charlotte. Great, loved it. I thought that was a cool callback.
And we even had it with Kate and Anthony.
That's true. The problem that I have with this is that the language that's established in this episode is Colin's off, banging other chicks, and
I don't know if he is.
But
he's laying with them.
Come on,
they're naked.
Come on.
Hey,
come on.
I would love for Colin to come out and be like,
how would you feel if you discovered me in bed with 2 other women who were naked, and I was like, no, we didn't do anything.
No,
no,
I'm just
really,
saying-
honestly, we didn't do anything.
No, that doesn't mean anything.
Hey, come on.
No, I'm not saying that. No, Colin is in the bed with 2 other chicks. I'm just wondering, has Colin done the deed fully, or will he and Penelope be first timers for each other?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm pretty convinced that he's got it in.
Okay.
I'm pretty convinced that he has.
He's a rake with a capital R.
Yeah, I think so. And
when they say same time tomorrow, are we supposed to infer that he's been coming same time
yes,
every day?
Yeah. Like, same time tomorrow. Like, not only is he
I
here
thought it was kind of like when your
today,
hairdresser's like, can we book you for 6 months out? Come on.
No. This is
Okay.
like, oh, hey, yeah, like, you've been here. Like, we're familiar with you, and we want to continue being familiar with you.
Man.
Right? There's a certain familiarity.
But are his britches on just like Mr. Finch's? That's
No.
the question.
No.
We don't see a Colin butt. We saw Anthony's butt all the time.
It doesn't
I
matter.
haven't seen Colin's bum.
We don't need Colin's bum.
I'm just thinking he's like Mr. Finch.
Regardless of whether or not he's like Mr. Finch or he's like Anthony, there is room for interpretation. But the fact of the matter is, the show is trying to get you to understand that he's off with these other chicks doing these other things. Like he's living his life, and
I love that that's interpreted as living his life.
But you know what I mean. Penelope, I understand like her. Like that moment for her of like this nervousness and like wanting to have this moment, but for Colin, I don't get it because it's shown like the way that the show at least intends it for me, or at least to me, is this glass moment is like the precursor to them like getting together.
I took it because I took it as he was just writing about, I'm with these people, I'm doing things with these people, but I don't truly know them.
Agreed.
And this moment to me, we had just read it, so that seed was planted in our minds, and here's someone caring for you who does know you. And holy smokes, now she's touching my hand.
Right. But I'm saying it's just like this touching of the hands thing. I guess what I'm trying to get at is it doesn't feel earned, right? It doesn't feel...
I feel like they've earned it. I know
so
you rewatched...
When I think of these friends to lovers romance, you even said one of the titles of one of the movies I'm going to bring up, Never Been Kissed, right? You even said that. But I also think of You've Got Mail. I think of Reality Bites. I think of When Harry Met Sally. You know what? I'll even go there and say it. I think of Maid of Honor. These are some of the best friends to lovers romances that I can think of, right? They all had these moments where it's not just one single moment where like, it's you touched my hand, and like it's a consistent buildup, and the perfection, right, is You've Got Mail. When he comes out and he's walking the dog, and Brinkley, hey, Brinkley, at the end, #spoilers, and she says, oh, I wished it was you. I wanted it to be you so bad. You, as a viewer, knew that, but they didn't come out and, like, create this. They just had this thing happen as opposed to creating it's a moment as opposed to a scene or a feeling.
See, I think it's a little different for us because Penelope's always loved Colin, so we have to see that click for him, that he's been able to have all these other experiences, but this is what matters. So I think that I don't mind. I don't feel like it's being hit over the head. And actually rewatching all of season 1 and season 2, you see their countless interactions. They wouldn't normally be touching hands.
Yeah.
That's just not proper in society. So for this to happen is a bold move.
Yeah.
And is very intimate, and they are in this room alone. I disagree, but I can appreciate your feelings.
But I will say this though. Usually, especially like in these kind of tropes, right? This friends to lovers trope, there is some kind of interaction where eventually it sets it off on a path. And if I'm going to say something where I believe, okay, maybe that was earned, it was actually the kiss moment. That to me was earned. right? Because Penelope has been pining after this person. Colin, as a friend, will do this thing. It's not like, oh, to me, it feels like the show has been trying to say this entire time that Colin has these kind of feelings for her as well. And the hand thing is just a confirmation of that.
He just wasn't aware of it.
But the kiss for me is where that moment where Colin can turn around and be like, whoa, did not expect to feel that way.
Especially with that tremor in his jaw.
And then later on, if he tries to play that down, or if he tries to, like, if he's, again, we're getting into the You've Got Mail of it, right? Where Tom Hanks is helping Meg Ryan, like, talk to the guy, the email, and the whole thing. Like, okay, that makes sense. But I don't think that they've earned it up to, like, they've earned that urgency yet. Okay. My great, though.
Oh my gosh, you're still doing your GBG?
Yeah, my great goes to Lady Featherington.
Oh, look at us.
Oh, man. Just...
Single screen yourself for a moment so I can eat my chips in peace. I keep apologizing to friends on camera because I'm hungry.
Sorry. All right. I will. I'm supposed to have your reaction as well.
I'll still have an audio reaction.
Oh my goodness
I'll
gracious!
eat my
Fine.
chips.
All right, here we go. All right, so Mary's holding up the chips in front of my camera. Lady Featherington, Portia. You know, between she and I, Portia and I, we're a good friend of the show, so we can go first name basis. Portia is genuinely a gift to this show, as are the Featherington sisters, outside of Penelope, of course. Prudence and what's the other one's name? Philippa. They are awesome. And this whole sex thing is perfection. I don't see them being much more than comedic relief at this point. And that's fine, because maybe the show has implied that there's going to be more with them, especially as it relates to their fortune and where they're going to be in this house and everything. But I don't care. I truly love these moments where we can just look at them and how ridiculous that they are and how ridiculous the whole situation is. It lightens and it serves my soul to watch these three interact. And then at the same time, seeing Penelope walk into this room and seeing the three of them interact and being like, oh my God, I cannot be here
when they're
anymore.
trying to catch grapes in each other's mouths.
Right.
Can't you see we're busy?
Right. So I hope now that you're done eating your chips, I'll put it back on.
Thank you.
On you and I. It almost reminds me of Arrested Development, when Michael would walk into a room and see, like, Job and his sister, who, by the way, was also named, her real name's Portia. Like, when they're doing something, like, or Tobias is doing something totally ridiculous. When Michael would walk into the room and be like, nope, okay, we're done. I'm done. We're going away. Mm-hmm. It's reminiscent of that. So I love what the Featheringtons are bringing, again, in this heightened reality to this story. It's excellent stuff. So that is my GBG, my long-winded GBG. Sorry.
Very much.
Sorry. I mean, listen,
okay.
I'm excited. I like these things. All right. So I know you have, we have the music, by the way.
Yes.
All right.
You only had on originally one of them.
No, I have two of them.
Okay, good. Perfect.
Yeah. All right. You ready for the first one?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here we go.
Oh, here's the awkward dynamite. So I loved this usage when Eloise is finally talking and the girls are saying, oh, we found your talent. You're great at conversation, which, yes. And that is a talent. I love that. So this is Dynamite, of course, by the Vitamin String Quartet. It's exciting.
No. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And it is originally a version by BTS's Dynamite. It's, of course, used at that ball. We get to see that awkward cut with the dancing. I wish there was more of this because I really think it was a brilliant, fun little ditty. So
yeah.
I liked it. The second one. Oh, did you want me to do the lyrics?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I see lyrics here, but I don't know if that's the real lyrics.
Let's see. Oh, no.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I
We'll skip it. We'll do the lyrics to Jealous. That's the one that I really
that's the
wanted.
one that actually really matters.
Okay, so fun story. So Nick Jonas wrote Jealous, or
Oh, are we
performed
moving
it.
on to Jealous?
Yeah, I'm done
Okay.
with Dynamite.
All right.
Just like the abrupt ending in the show, that's the abrupt ending about the Dynamite discussion in this podcast. Because
All
let's
right.
get to
All
Jealous.
right, here's Jealous. All right, well, set the scene for Jealous
All
and
right,
then
so-
give us story time.
Jealous happens, of course, while Penelope is talking to a suitor, and Colin keeps kind of looking over. Penelope's looking over at him.
Unearned. I'm just going to throw it in there.
And no, I think it's fully earned.
Unearned at this point.
And it's just precious. And then afterwards, Colin goes to check on her, and she's like, I think your lessons are working because he seems interested in me. And it's all thanks to you. So this is Jealous, which is a version by Shimmer, covered by the original song Nick Jonas. So, of course, Nick Jonas, here are the lyrics. I don't like the way he's looking at you. I'm starting to think you want him too. Am I crazy? Have I lost ya? Even though I know you love me, can I help it? I turn my chin music up. Which, by the way, what is that?
I have no
turn
idea.
my chin music up.
Chin music like.
What's chin? Like
Chin
I turn
music.
my chin up.
Maybe that's it.
Okay.
Like
I'm gonna. Yeah.
I'm gonna bust you up.
Yeah. I turn my chin music up, and I'm puffing my chest. I'm getting red
Yeah.
in the face. You can call me obsessed. It's not your fault that they hover. I mean, no disrespect. It's right. It's my right to be hellish. I still get jealous because you're too sexy, beautiful, and everybody wants a taste. That's why. That's why. I still get jealous. And then that repeats. I love this song.
Ideally, I love the song too, but I'm just saying it's before the kiss.
No,
This song
that's the
feels
inkling.
unearned.
But no, it's totally earned because he doesn't even realize it's jealousy. He's looking so much, and it's like, wait a second. This is the first time that Penelope is kind of being courted by anyone ever.
Yeah.
And he knows she's in the market. And it's like,
Yeah.
what are these weird feelings? And the song is saying, Colin, this is called jealousy. But Colin doesn't even know yet. Nick Jonas is trying to tell him through Shimmer,
Personally,
this feeling is titled jealous.
We're good friends with Portia, and it just so happens that Nick Jonas and Colin are good friends too. So it just makes sense.
Fun fact, Nick Jonas wrote this about when he was dating Olivia Colpo.
Yes.
And she's in the music video, like playing the cello,
Oh,
swinging
really?
around. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then I saw him that summer at our zoo with Olivia.
Oh, Rhode Island native,
Yes.
Olivia Culpo.
Yeah.
So it's one of our primary exports of Rhode Island is Olivia Culpo.
No. Whose mom is in the orchestra. So I'm familiar, not that way, but I'm familiar with the family because of the music.
With the
roles.
Culpo family.
With the Culpo family, not the
Yes,
Jonas
not
family.
the
Well,
Jonas
the Jonas family I met at the zoo.
You did be.
I did.
And you watched the documentary, which that
Hey.
that sets you on another
There
level
you go.
too.
So, Jealous. There you go. That's the Jealous song, which I absolutely loved.
All right. Fair enough.
Time to dive in.
All right. So where
Can we
else?
I want to get the Mondrichs done with. I know that you're excited about
Okay,
them.
I like the Mondriches. I really do because
I like them too. I would love to be their friends.
Yeah, no, I like what they're doing because it comes back to Benedict, right? And it's through Benedict that I understood what the show is trying to do with the Mondriches, right? It's a parallel story of like just looking at what this world is. Again, it's a heightened reality. I know I've said that now a million times, but it's like, what's this world? And there are all these rules. But once you're married, you can do whatever you so choose. And I like seeing somebody, at least one of us pause, go into this world
Yes.
and be like, oh, I have to fit in. I got to do all these things.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you don't, because none of it makes sense anyway. Just sit there and do what you want to do.
It's kind of like when you become an adult and you realize none of the adults have an idea what's going on. But when you were
Yes.
younger and even a teenager and even in your early 20s, you were like, but when I'm an adult and I have my act together, I'll know how to handle problems.
Right.
No.
Wrong. It just gets
No.
worse. It also reminds me, as you say it now too, Mary, is I know I've told this story before, but I'll say it again. When I went to college for the first time, that first night, I had no idea what I was doing. Like I'm sure many of us felt that way. Where it was like, okay, I'm sleeping in this room with 3 other dudes, and I am at this place that's away from home. and this is like the first major time that you've been away for an extended period of time. You're on your own finally. And I remember I'm like, I don't know where any of my classes are. I don't know the buildings. And I just happened to have a friend who went to the same college that I did. She was a year ahead of me. And we were talking on, here, we're going to age ourselves. We were talking on AIM.
Instant Messenger, yes.
And on AIM, she's like, hey, how's everything going? I'm like, oh, I'm just about to head to bed. It was like, I don't know, maybe 10. She's like, why are you going to bed? I'm like, oh, well, it's 10 o'clock. I'm gonna head to bed. And she's like, but I said to her, I'm nervous because I don't know where my classes are. She's like, well, come on out. I'll show you where they are right now. I'm like, whoa. Wait, what? She's like, yeah. Just come on out. I'll come to the quad. I'll show you. I'll walk you around. And I'll never forget going outside at like 10:30.
Yep.
And just walking around and seeing other people out.
Yep.
And just things are happening that are just happening.
Because they can.
And I remember that freedom of being like, I'm actually in college now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I like what the show is doing with the Mondriches in so far as allowing the story to, allowing the world to not only show how these people can do it, but like being an active participant in that world. Like through us, we get a chance, through them, we get a chance to see how that all worked. Like they talked about the Great Experiment.
Yep.
And especially in Queen Charlotte, where it was like, hey, we have all these things, like this is all going to go away if your kid doesn't become the next thing. But they were already kind of like royal people. Like they were already, not royal, but they were part of the nobility kind of already. In this case, this is just one of us going into that world, and I like to see that dynamic.
And then we get to see what Portia's afraid of, because Portia says, if this happens with the Mondriches, who's going to end up inheriting our house if we don't get an heir pretty soon?
It lends a sense of urgency to what the Featheringtons are going through.
It'll be interesting to see where this storyline goes. Once again, Blake and I haven't read the book, so we don't necessarily know if the Mondriches end up being
or if they're even in
characters,
the books.
or the Kents, are in it. But it'll be interesting to see. But I agree with you. I think that they give something for Benedict to do.
Yes.
Also because Benedict's just been this lost little puppy who has such amazing comedic timing and is just such a wonderful character inside the Bridgerton family. But how lovely was he going on over, oh, Mr. and Mrs. Mondrich.
Right.
Like
just like immediately going right up to them and being
with no
welcome
fear.
to the ton.
Yes.
Like
everyone needs a Benedict.
This place is banana land and you're welcome. Just relax and chill out. Have a drink.
You have the easy button.
And I liked Benedict going through all the different people. Like these people, they're only supposed to have one drink, but they're getting hammered. These people are dancing every single time, but they're not supposed to. But who cares? They're married. And just as a husband who loves his bride more than anything else on this planet, I just like seeing a happy married couple doing the thing and realizing, yeah, we're married. We can do whatever the hell we want.
And then it also gives you the understanding of what Penelope is looking for, because Colin says, why are you searching for a husband? I want freedom.
Right.
And we get to see different aspects of that freedom. You don't have to worry about what people are going to say with you. There are no expectations about, do I show up? Do I go on the dance floor? Must I wear this? Like, no one's going to be looking at you when you're off the marriage market.
Right.
You truly do get to live your life and have that freedom. So it's neat to see the perspective of Penelope saying that freedom is what she most wants out of a marriage, and then having the Mondriches be brought to the awareness that that is what they have unlocked by already being married and being brought into the ton.
Yeah, absolutely. So I appreciate what the show is doing with them. And I will say, though, that even though I love Benedict, I think he might be my favorite character.
Yeah, I know he is.
I think he might be. The show has kind of done him a little dirty. And not so far as, well, that he's not doing anything, or
he's in every episode.
But I just mean as in a narrative sense, they began this season with Anthony coming home, and Benedict saying, "I kind of liked when you were gone because it actually gave me something to do.
I had a job.
And I liked it. And now you're back, and now we're not doing anything."
And then Anthony says, never mind, take over my job. I'm going to go make an heir.
Right.
So,
but the problem is they haven't shown
Benedict
him
in the office
do anything.
Okay.
And not only that, okay, even if he's not doing anything, we haven't seen Benedict struggle at all with anything.
Can I tell you something?
So as a result of that, I look at that and I go, they're doing him a little dirty.
I actually think that Benedict's just wicked smart. We saw Anthony in that
That's
study
true.
every
That's true.
single night, burning those candles to the little bottom of the wicks, like cramming and studying and papers everywhere. He was a mess. Benedict probably gets all of his work done by 10 a.m.
Gets it all. He has it all set.
You guys want to play a game? Let's play a game. You want to read? Let's listen about the Whistledown. He is so happy.
It just comes naturally.
It comes naturally.
It's like you sleeping in physics class.
Yes. Yes. I just think Benedict's pretty brilliant, and he's able to juggle all this that Anthony was too stressed out to do.
Fair.
But I agree. Hopefully at some point we do get to see him do something, man. Like, I would love to have him be like, hey, Colin, I saw you're ranking up charges at the prostitute house again.
Yeah.
Like,
What's that about?
because that's what we would see Anthony do. You know, he
Yeah.
would come on in
Or
and
at
ask.
least handle stuff with Francesca.
Imagine Benedict need to go pay the Modiste bill, because you
Oh.
know that is going up super high this season.
Of course.
And then, poor Violet comes up. So sorry, Benedict. We just bought 2 more dresses. You're gonna have to go pay the bill. Yeah, that's all right. No problem.
Why wasn't I invited?
Yeah, I'm a fan. I don't think he's being squashed, because you're right. He's not painting. So will that come back?
Yeah.
But they also needed to make room for Francesca. And if he was taking up as much screen time as he had before, what are we doing?
Yep. And as much as I love him as a comedic relief, I think he is capable of much more.
Yes, and we will see him shine.
But speaking of comedic relief, I got to give it to Nicola Coughlan as Penelope.
Mm-hmm.
She is gold. And I haven't seen much of Derry Girls, but I do know that it is a funny show, and she obviously is in it. And she does have her comedic abilities. But she is great in this episode, trying to talk to those guys and doing the fluttering of the fan and the eyelashes and all of it. Like, it's so awkward. And when she lays down in the bed and she puts her hands up, by the way, the bubby's heaving out of that dress by that point. She puts her hands up there, and it's just like, so you have those moments where you're like, that was so awkward. I can't even live with myself.
I just want to hide under my covers.
Yes. I really like how they're handling Penelope in that regard.
Agreed.
Yep, absolutely.
Agreed. Queen Charlotte, let's just give her a little shout out. Her wigs and outfits in this episode,
Stellar.
stunning.
Stellar. Oh,
She
with
mentions,
the braids
yeah,
and the brown and
Mhm.
oh my goodness.
She does make a quick mention of Miss Edwina Sharma making a fine match abroad. So I assume that means that we will not be seeing Edwina. We just need to know that she did live her happily ever after. But something interesting happened in this episode in the very, very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Queen Charlotte says, Whistledown, it is she who should be afraid. And she looks at Brimsley, and Brimsley smirks, and then she smirks.
Right.
So what is up with that? Like, what are Queen Charlotte and Brimsley
What are they up to?
cooking up?
Yeah.
Because that was a very, very planned, look at you, look at me, maniacal laughter inside our heads.
Well, it's one of two things, really, for me. One is that, Mary. It's the planned thing. These two know something that we as an audience don't know yet. I can buy it because we're not in the Queen's perspective.
Yeah.
We are. This is not Queen Charlotte. We should not know everything that she's doing. So if it is that, I buy it. The other thing is it just the Queen kind of just showing her feathers a little bit, being like, she should be the one that's afraid, and Brimsley's there to like give emotional support.
I don't know. The smirk that he and she give to each other was different, because I feel like in previous episodes she's just been flustered and who is this and how dare she and oh, we're gonna fight and I know how to play a game, but this
felt intentional.
I'm up to something.
Yeah,
those little smirks.
And Mary, when I said last episode of, I'm not feeling empathy for the Queen. I'm not feeling anything that I felt from the Queen Charlotte series. I'm not saying that I'm doing a take back.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's more of a take revision or a take addendum. Okay. That moment between the two of them gave me a little bit. It gave me a little bit of Queen Charlotte, from the show.
Even when she was sitting down with Lady Danbury and saying, "Oh, she, like these ladies, they're throwing all these diamonds and they're not, nothing." Oh no, sorry, there was something I wanted to say. Lady Whistledown, because I'm thinking diamonds, rumors. Lady Whistledown, the very beginning of the episode, she said something like, what might be a diamond is actually just glass and crushes under pressure.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to say. Because we go from that to the diamonds. They said, Lady Whistledown says that as we're on a shot of Lady Featherington, and she throws down the Whistledown papers, and I just thought, crushes like glass, just like how Lord Featherington's rubies crushed like glass.
I like that take.
So if you notice the timing of it, they're watching that voiceover is happening right then on Portia, and she throws it down. And that's all I could think is like, Penelope knew what she was writing at that very moment. And then, it goes to the diamonds. So sorry. But those mamas are throwing expensive jewelry at the queen.
That pineapple, whatever it is, that's made out of, it sparkles a lot.
It sure does.
And that's a lot of bread. Whatever that is. The pineapple's a lot of bread.
The queen does get to see a sparkle.
Hold on. Before we do that, I do want to call this out. Even as a listener, go back and watch this scene, the beginning scene of Lady Danbury and the Queen as they're talking around the table. The way that the composition is set up is that there is the Queen on one end of the table, one portion of it, because it's a circle, and then Lady Danbury on the opposite side of the circle. And they're talking, and then they move, but they move in unison. So it's like they're circumnavigating,
orbiting,
they're orbiting rather the whole table at the same time. And it felt to me as I watched it, I'm like, this is so odd. It felt so planned, if you know what I mean.
But also Lady Danbury has to keep some of her distance from the Queen. It always is very formal,
if it was Brimsley, I would say yes, but Lady Danbury, I'm not buying that.
They never sit next to each other when they're alone. They always sit across from each other when they're alone.
Well, in Queen Charlotte, they did. They sat next to each other.
Yeah, you're right. When they had their friend moment, though, when they said, "Let's talk as friends."
Yeah, but so at least implicit in that show is that relationship has continued, right? So I don't know if there was just if there was a way to make that more of a natural movement, because you know how we've talked about whenever you're positioning in a scene, you have to have a reason for positioning. Like you have to have a reason for why somebody moves or goes to do something. Don't move just for the sake of moving. It almost felt like that, but there at least was a reason behind it because they were both looking at the diamonds and the jewelry and everything.
Yeah.
But the way that it happened, it was so mechanical. I'm like, oh, it's almost, to me, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard. So I don't know why. Just go back and watch it and let me know what you think.
So the Queen gets to see Francesca in her natural habitat on the pianoforte.
Yes.
And I love this because, of course, also in Queen Charlotte, we get to understand that Queen Charlotte was a longtime lover of the arts. And we get to see little Mozart playing for her. And we just know this historically, that she also really was into music. So I love that she goes and sees Francesca and praises her for that and says that you do this for your own delight. You're not doing this to impress anyone. And I think that that's really impressive for the Queen to say.
Sure.
She's just so sick of all these ladies. Just, oh, let me show you this gift. Makes me think of the talent show that they had for Edwina last season.
The magic tricks.
Yes.
Do you think the Queen knows she's being handled a little bit by Lady Danbury at this point? Because the way that I got it, the way that I took it was, hey, you should go take a look at that art back there. It's like, this is her house, lady. What are you talking about?
Yes.
Of course I know where the art is. It's my house.
Yes.
So you think that she knew she was being handled?
Yes, but also she said it loudly enough that if any of the other ladies heard it, they'd understand why she walked away instead of, hey, I want to show you somebody.
Understood.
Yeah.
All right.
And then
understood.
also, I don't know if Lady Danbury's heard Francesca. So what if Francesca stunk
What if she was
at the pianoforte? Then
Yeah.
she could be like, oh, let's walk past that.
What if she
Hurry
was
up
like
to
me?
the art. Yes.
Yeah, okay, I'm buying it now the way that you say it.
Okay.
I will definitely buy it because I like what it does for Francesca. Does this set her up though to be the next Diamond, if you will?
Yeah.
But what does that do then to what we were praising about the first episode, where it was like, oh no, there's no Diamond, and that's great because it sets everything. It sets this season apart from the other two.
I don't know.
Well-
We'll have to see, Blake.
I don't know. I think it's a valid question.
Before she's even the diamonds or sparkling or whatever, she gets approached by this Lord Petrie, the cello guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you, what he was saying about the music, he approaches Francesca. Like,
Yeah,
she wouldn't have had any issues finding suitors on her own. It's just that this will help. And that's even what Francesca says. It'll
Yeah.
hopefully get some more suitors, maybe some better ones. And he's trying to say, girlfriend, that music, it's a love song. And Francesca gets so baffled and just says, I like the chord progressions. And then eventually the guy leaves, and you see Francesca make a little face at herself like, crap, I
What'd I
messed
do
it up
that
again.
for?
Poor thing. But I'm excited to see her. She's different than the rest of the Bridgertons, and I appreciate that. We get some time with Eloise, though.
Oh, I really want to talk about this.
Mhm.
I mean, first of all, the summer Muppet.
The summer muff.
Yeah, the summer muff, whatever it is.
Makes a couple of more appearances, her little
It's
splint.
now become a game to me.
Yes.
There are 2 games for me as I'm watching this season of Bridgerton. There are 2.
Can you see the cast?
Can you see the cast?
Okay. Meaning the
Like,
arm cast.
Yeah, and you can in this episode.
Yes, you can.
You can. It's when they're promenading. You have to look closely. But like,
Because we saw it 3 times.
Yeah.
We rewound.
We did.
See it. We see the cast. There it is.
when is she in cast and when is she not in
Yes.
cast? Okay. And then the other thing is Colin's hair. When is it like really well coiffed and when is it kind of like wavy coiffed? Because I have a theory that when it's really well coiffed, that is either like pickups, like when they came in to redo some reshoots,
Okay.
or it was just this certain block of shooting that they did this,
Okay.
right? So I like looking at his hair to be like, this is a different timeline from when this happened. You know, like
The
you
curls
can't-
are slightly different.
right? Yeah, I don't know. I just it's a totally nerdy, stupid game that I'm playing with myself.
Collinton. That became Colin Bridgerton. Colin and Eloise, and really all of the Bridgertons have such an amazing sibling relationship, and we
Yeah.
get to see that, how they're able to call each other out. They're able to be honest with each other. They're able to question each other, but there's no sense of disrespect, and that's something that is so beautiful amongst siblings, that you know each other better than anyone else in this
Yeah,
world.
well, you can hit a button, man,
Yep.
real quick.
And so even Benedict is able to do this when the 3 of them begin their promenade. And Benedict says, you hang out with Cressida, but no one else. You have ribbons in your hair, but you don't carry a fan. And then Eloise calls her brothers out like, oh, well, why aren't you guys meeting up with other people? Eloise gets to bond with Francesca at the Modiste and tells her, guess what? I know you don't want to be the queen's one and done, the special sparkling. So I'm going to go tell other people to take the pressure off you. But Eloise opens up to Francesca saying, thank you so much, because I don't need any more pressure on myself to
Right.
get married. I'm glad Mom gets to do this with you. And then she even gets to talk more with Colin about when they're in the carriage ride, that she was unhappy seeing Pen. He could tell that she was upset.
Sure.
So just by sitting in the carriage, he said, what's wrong? And she said, I didn't like seeing Penelope there. Please, don't bring her here anymore. And then, but what I liked too is she asked, how is she doing?
Yeah.
Because obviously Penelope, even though Cressida's advice is to make her dead to her, Penelope is not dead to Eloise. She
No.
still does care immensely.
And I like that the show is doing that, right? Because it gives us at least something to root for. But I'm so happy that you bring up Cressida, my love,
If I'm
because
disagreeing with someone, I simply pretend they're dead.
I really like what they're doing with Cressida because it's actually giving her something more than just being that girl, right? It's more than just being one of the plastics. She actually, the fact that Penelope is the one who lets this rumor loose.
Eloise.
I'm sorry, Penelope. I meant Eloise, sorry. The fact that Eloise is the one who lets this rumor loose, and it has nothing to do with Cressida whatsoever, is, to me, gold.
Yes.
And also, to me, it shows that they are either, one, going to set Cressida up for this kind of redemption arc, or two, set her up for it only to fail and fail purposely, right? Fail and send her into full villain mode.
Oh, I love it.
Like what's her name in The Descendants, in the third movie?
Oh, I know.
Sleeping Beauty's daughter.
Yes.
Like
Audrey.
She's gonna go full Audrey.
The queen of mean.
Yes. And that's great. Like one way or the other, they're setting her up as a character for really great success. And I like seeing her actually tell Eloise, you're the one who said something.
Pick up a looking glass.
Right. Like, why don't you take a look at yourself and stop hating on me? You've already established the fact that you think of me a certain way. How about you start looking at yourself another way? And even if I wanted to say something, which I didn't, you were the one who was so freaking loud that everybody else could hear it. Why don't you actually learn how to do all this? I gotta say, I think Cressida's stealing the scenes here a little bit. I mean, between the
shoulder
outfits,
pads, yeah,
the
hair.
outfits, and the character growth, and what they're trying that they are clearly setting her up for, I'm in. I want it all. Give me all the Cressida. I can't wait to see the ridiculousness that she has for those outfits.
Well,
and it kind of puts Penelope. I keep getting these two mixed. It kind of puts Eloise in this really not bad light, but it puts her in this awkward spot as a character, right? She's becoming something that she didn't want to be. She's doing things, even though she doesn't mean to, she's still doing them. And it's starting to alienate her from Cressida, but also she's alienating herself from Penelope, but she doesn't want any of, things are happening around her that she doesn't have control over, but the actions that she's doing are facilitating those things that are happening around her. That's good writing.
Yes. You know what's good? Your wife is a pastry.
Your wife is a pastry.
You are so pretty.
Oh, man.
Gotta say, one thing about Portia Featherington, when she's going in and she's talking to Penelope after the Whistledown papers come out, just, lambasting Penelope, she goes on in and says, did this really happen? Was this really what you're trying to do? Oh, my goodness gracious, you spent all your money on your dresses. Did you actually think you were going to get a husband? I can't believe it. And then there are a couple of moments where it looks like Portia does feel bad for Penelope, and she does this thing with her hand where it looks like she might go and touch her daughter.
Yeah, but
it's like a moment of reassuring, and then she goes back and she puts her. I think she bites her finger.
Her thumb.
Yeah, bites her thumb, and I just thought that was such an interesting thing that Portia has these moments where it's like, you're almost there. You're almost there.
But at the same time, though, Mary, again, it's this attack and defense writing mechanism that's just so well used, as we just highlighted with Eloise. It's really being well used with Portia. When she is feeling this way about Penelope, she does want to help. You can tell she does feel bad, but at the same time, she's so upset that, yes, whatever Lady Whistledown wrote.
My family is in Whistledown again.
Yeah, it's true. It'd be one thing if it wasn't, but it is true. What are we doing? And then she says really, really, really harsh words. You're being unreasonable about what you can achieve. Oh my God. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Can you get any more mean, roller coaster, right? it's these things that are happening around her. She wants to do something, but her actions, Portia, do another, and it facilitates this cycle even more. Good writing.
We do need to give a shout out to Penelope's dresses, which gets, mentioned. So glad your mother let you keep your dresses. Here's a fun question for you. Did Penelope use her Whistledown paper money, or did she use the money that her family has? Because Lord knows Portia, Prudence, and Philippa are all getting brand new dresses. So I'm hoping that Penelope has been able to continue to store away her Whistledown money and just is using the family fortune for all these gorgeous dresses that really are complimenting her so beautifully. Oh, the quote I had written down: "What appears to be priceless under pressure shatters like glass."
Yes. Okay.
That
great.
was the
good stuff.
We have this awkward conversation between Colin and Penelope about Lady Whistledown when they start their courtship. And he's like, "Are you sure you still want to meet with me? You want to have these studies? And I hate that woman. I hate Whistledown." And she's like, "Oh, let's just forget about her." It's just interesting now that they're talking about Whistledown a couple of times, because then at the end of the episode, it's because Penelope's been written about in Whistledown. And he says, "Oh, it's so bad what they wrote," and whatever. Like, if she hadn't said it, it would be weird because everyone saw what was happening. So we've now had 2 mentions of how Colin loathes Lady Whistledown for dredging himself and the people that he loves through the mud.
This is obviously, this is not foreshadowing, ladies and gents. This is setup, right? This is setup and payoff. If we're gonna liken it to anything, I'll keep going with the You've Got Mail example, right? This is when she finds out that Tom Hanks actually owns Fox Books, right? This is that moment, right? And this is what it's building up to. This is building up to the I own Fox Books moment, and this is what will kind of set them apart for a little bit, only for them to get back together again. It's just a question of how does he find out? It's not if, it's when and how.
Colin says something really lovely to Penelope while they're doing some of their studies. And he talks about how when they were children, that's how they first met, when they were kids. And it was completely free. They didn't worry about other people. And I loved what he said. He said, "Living for the estimation of others is a trap. Once you break free, the world opens up." And he asks her then, why do you want a husband? And she says freedom. She wants that world opened up. So I just love how, he's able to say all these different things to her and lets her see that he's seen her for who she is all along. And I think that's really special because he's becoming aware of it. Like, he may not realize he appreciates Penelope. He talks about how he misses her letters. But actually through this process of seeing her more as a woman, someone who is going to be married, it's him speaking through this process of, I'm going to be more true to myself. I don't need to care about what society thinks. Society thinks that Penelope is this, old shrew. And really, that doesn't matter. When you break free from that, the whole world is going to open up. So I'm really proud of Colin and the growth that he's had.
Yeah, and I think, Mary, there's a recurring thematic device here throughout this entire episode, and that is, as we have established in Mary and Blake Media lore, this is a Mary and Blake Media commandment. Theme is not a word. It is a question, right? It is a question around which your episode or movie or book or play surrounds itself, right? And I think in this case is being true to yourself freedom, right? Because we've seen that for, in this case, Penelope. We've seen that in the Francesca, right? Is she wants to be free. She wants to just do her own thing, and she can be herself, and she's free to play the piano and free to get married to who she wants to marry, And then we see that with the Mondriches as well. You can be free. You are free. You're married. I think that's a really cool thing. But the issue that we have then is, what is freedom in this world, right? Does marriage equal freedom? Is that the thing you should actually be striving for, or is it just to be yourself?
Being yourself. One thing that I want to keep note of as a scribbling prediction is Penelope's maid, Ray. So Ray, when Penelope and Colin are in the market and they're talking about things, she gives these weird looks at Colin, and she's always, following Penelope behind her because she has to be. But she kind of gives these little looks, and I don't know what those looks mean. I don't know if Ray,
especially at the end.
Yes. I don't know if Ray is okay with this. I don't know if Ray is onto it. I don't know the scoop. I also don't know, does Ray know about Whistledown? Because some of Penelope's staff have to know that she's Whistledown. Someone takes her in the carriage, goes all the way, and if her maidservant didn't know that Penelope was missing for an hour or two, you know what I mean? So part of me wants to know, where is Ray in this picture, and why is she given these little looks? Why has she been given a name, for example?
Good
like
point.
none of the other maidservants.
Why isn't she maid service number 1?
Yes.
Or maid servant number 2?
But she's like pointed out, and she gets her own camera time. So I think there's going to be a little something up with Ray in
Agreed.
the upcoming second half of the season.
Agreed.
Complimenting Colin's eyes, love it. Deep shade of blue. Oh, I thought it was absolutely.
But you know what? I do buy it from her. I buy it from her.
Yes. Penelope goes in, she reads Colin's book. How dare you read that? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. You didn't mean to. Well, yeah, I did, but I shouldn't have. There's something else that could have been much worse than her reading his book. If she had picked up that leather coat that she was touching and shoved it in her face, smelled it, or like wrapped her arms around, like how Sleeping Beauty does when she's pretending she's dancing with Prince Charming.
Yep. That would have been funny.
If that was what Colin walked into, then it would have made sense.
That would have been.
But like, you left your book right here, man. I'm sorry, I read it. Whatevs.
That would have been definitely one of the reasons why I would be like, "Yep, that makes sense to me. I buy this friends to lovers trope."
Like, she just touches it, and I'm like, girl, you want to know what he smells like up close.
I know. I got a theory about this.
Tell me.
I got a theory. Well, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Fun mention.
Yes.
Bennington.
Bennington?
I just made another. I'm making everyone intins. Eloise Tin, Francesca Tin, Penelton.
We gotta play the bell for you. Hold on. There we go.
Okay.
Bennington.
He gives a shout out to like Harry Potter. He
Is
says
it
that the
Benedict?
girls. Yeah, Benedict. That's what I tried
they're hunting
to say.
in packs now.
They're hunting in packs.
Yes, absolutely.
And then, of course, we have Lord Remington in the wheelchair, and we had the gentleman whose horse died. And
You're a wizard, Harry.
Get to joke.
Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Are you ready for... by the way, we do have some listener feedback here.
Yay.
But we are already at an hour 5 for this episode, Marvin. So I kind of want to get this one over with.
Let's do it.
Well, do you want to save it for next episode, or do you want to just do it?
How much is it?
Well, I mean, it's not like a ton, but we got to like...
We'll do an extra mini-sode. We'll do a mini-sode of listener feedback.
Well, I don't think it's enough to warrant that.
Oh, okay.
But whatever. But you know what? We'll save it for next episode. Okay. All right, you ready for the scribbling predictions? You got anything else you want to say about this episode?
Did.
Okay. Well, I haven't done mine.
I snuck mine in.
I haven't done mine, so let's just do mine right now. Okay, so we talked about, Mary, the scene where Penelope looks at the book, touches it, starts to read it, puts it down, goes back to read it more, and she gets caught. While I do like that scene, I absolutely love your take even more, Mary, that she should have been dancing with his coat or just like smelling it, just going nose first, right? Like that would have been great. That would have been good comedic stuff. But I think there's a reason for her reading his book and then eventually commenting on his writing, saying that it's good writing. My theory is that Colin will not be told that she is Lady Whistledown. He will find it out himself, and he will do it by discovering one of her notes or one of her books that she writes in by Penelope and thinking, oh, well, she read my thing. I'm going to read her thing. And he is expecting it to be, her... Like, by this point, I think what will happen is they'll finally hook up. They'll hook up in, like, episode 4, which is the natural break for Netflix.
Okay.
And then the remaining thing is, like, afterwards. Like, after they hook up.
Okay.
Right? and then what happens after that. And in between all of that, they will share an intimate moment. And he'll see this thing that she has been writing. He'll think, oh, what's her journal or whatever. Maybe he thinks like, oh, maybe she wrote something about me. I want to read it. And he wants to do that now because they've hooked up. He likes her. He wants to be with her. And then he reads this thing and he sees that, oh my God, you're Lady Whistledown.
Love it.
And now he has to
Where are
make
you
a
keeping
choice.
Julie Andrews?
Right. This is you. Yeah. You own Fox Books. I shot the clerk. Like that's what that is. Or she says something that she wouldn't normally say because she's letting her guard down around him now that they are like hooking up and they're like a thing now. She says something where he's like, whoa, that doesn't sound right. That sounds a lot like Lady Whistledown to me.
Kind of like how Eloise put 2 and 2 together.
Yes.
Okay.
Something isn't right. But it's him making this discovery on his own. He's not going to be told. But I truly think that he will see one of her writings, and they're going to have that rhyme where the connecting moment, at least the way that the show is positing it, is the journal, the discovery, the hand,
Interesting.
the blood wrapping it up. This begins it, and now what could possibly end it, which it won't, but what could possibly end it is his discovering her writing.
Interesting.
So that is my theory. You got anything else?
No.
All right, let's close this bad boy out.
We want to thank you all so incredibly much, especially our friends at jointhenerdclan.com. If you're not a member yet at jointhenerdclan.com, we highly encourage you to be there. It is a place for people who are able to donate as little as $2 a month to keep the lights on, to make sure that we can create these podcasts that are shared with people worldwide free of charge. Free of charge.
Free of charge.
So if you like what we do, if we bring joy to your day, please think about becoming a member at jointhenerdclan.com. You get little perks like getting episode show notes and getting things ahead of time and getting extra book club stuff. So lots of great things. So thanks again. If you are a member, you have made a huge difference for Blake and I.
Go over there. Go to the Nerd Clan. Nerd out with other nerds. Talk about the things that you love. That's the most fun part about it. We're going to have some new knee-jerk reactions, some new content there. I'm looking forward to it. Of course, go to maryandblake.com as well. Check out all the podcasts that we have, as I had mentioned. There is This Is Us 2, which is now on Netflix. If you're into This Is Us, you should definitely check out our podcast, This Is Us 2. And you know what? A lot of people have been discovering us as of late, Mary, and I can tell so from our emails and messages on the various platforms. The Last Kingdom. And it's been like a recent rash of people being like, hey, I just watched The Last Kingdom and I listened to your podcast and I love it.
Well,
what else do you have? So if you like The Last Kingdom, go check that out there too. I'm just throwing that out there. See what we got.
All right, my friends, thank you so much. My name is Mary.
My name is Blake.
Go on out there and brew some more tea.
All right, that's it.
There you go, my friends. Thanks for tuning in live. We will be in touch shortly.
Yeah, have some fun. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully we'll be having another episode really soon.
Bye.
All right, bye, everybody.